My mom kicked me out at 16 so she could focus on raising her new kids. Now that I'm successful, she's demanding I pay for their college. The parent who threw you out at 16, leaving you with nothing but a few garbage bags and a measly $300, suddenly reappears 18 years later. Not to apologize, not to reconnect, but to demand you fund the college education of the very children they chose over you. That's my story, and what happened on my porch that day changed everything. Hi, I'm Isabella Mitchell, but everyone calls me Bella. I'm 34 now, and I've built a tech company worth $40 million. But 18 years ago, my mom packed my bags and told me to leave so she could focus on her new family. Now, after nearly 2 decades of absolute silence, she's back, hand outstretched, demanding I pay for her children's college education. The woman who chose her new life over me now wants me to fund their future. Seriously, what would you do if the parent who abandoned you suddenly demanded your hard-earned money? Before I dive in, let me know where you're watching from, and hit that like and subscribe button if you've ever had to rebuild your life from scratch. My childhood started out pretty normal, you know? For the first 5 years, it was just mom and me in our tiny 2-bedroom apartment on the outskirts of Boston. My dad, Trevor, walked out when I was 5, leaving nothing but a half-empty closet and sporadic birthday cards that eventually just stopped. Despite our financial struggles, Mom, Pamela, and I were a team. She worked 2 jobs to keep a roof over our heads, and I learned early on to be self-sufficient. I'd have dinner ready when she came home, exhausted from her shift at the department store, followed by her evening waitressing gig. Weekends were sacred. We curl up with discount movies and microwave popcorn, building pillow forts in our tiny living room. Those simple moments felt magical. Everything changed when I turned 12. Mom met Gerald Wilson at the restaurant where she worked. He was a regular customer, a mid-level manager at an insurance company who always requested her section. Within 3 months, he was a fixture in our lives. Gerald was charming around Mom, bringing her flowers, taking us to restaurants that actually required reservations. But when Mom wasn't looking, there was something in his eyes when he looked at me. Something cold and calculating. "You're quite the expense for your mother," he commented once, while Mom was in the kitchen. She could have had such a different life without having to support you all these years. I still remember how my stomach nodded at his words. But when I told Mom, she just laughed it off. "Gerald's just joking, honey." He has a dry sense of humor. Gerald had 2 children from his previous marriage, Hayden and Madison, 10 and 8 at the time. They visited every other weekend, and suddenly, our apartment wasn't just ours anymore. Madison would go through my things without asking. Hayden made it clear I wasn't welcome when they were around. "Dad says this is going to be our place soon anyway," he informed me, helping himself to my favorite cereal. The wedding happened fast. A small ceremony when I was 13. I was a bridesmaid in an ill-fitting dress that Gerald's mother selected. "We need to hide those awkward teenage angles," she'd said during the fitting, pinching at my sides. Within a month, we moved into Gerald's 4-bedroom house in a suburban neighborhood with manicured lawns and HOA regulations. It should have been an upgrade from our apartment, but I was given the smallest bedroom, really just a converted office with a window that faced the neighbor's brick wall. Hayden and Madison each got rooms twice the size of mine, with Gerald explaining, "They're only here part-time, so they need special spaces to feel at home." The first year in that house, I watched my relationship with Mom erode like a shoreline in a hurricane. Family dinners became conversations between Mom, Gerald, and his kids, while I sat silently, becoming increasingly invisible. When I'd try to share something about school or my friends, Gerald would interject with, "Bella, the adults are talking," or "Let's hear about Madison's soccer tournament instead." Full story on channel, link below. Watch what happened next.